Hello, everybody. Welcome to our virtual college fair today. We've got an exciting session brought to us by the National Catholic College Admissions Association, as well as the Jesuit Excellence Tour. A couple housekeeping items before we begin. For all our attendees, note that your camera and microphone are off. Our panelists can't see or hear you. To that end, please use the Q&A button to type your questions at any time. Also be advised we have additional sessions on the StriveScan website, so if you have interest in another institution, go ahead and sign up at your leisure. Also note that this session is being recorded and it will be posted to strivescan.com/NCCAA once available. With those behind us, we'll turn it over to our first presenter from Newman University.
Hi, everybody. Get this started. My name is Georgia Drews. I'm the Associate Director of Admissions at Newman University in Wichita, Kansas. As with all of the colleges here today, we are a Catholic college located in Wichita campus, or Wichita, Kansas. So we're smack dab in the middle of the United States, but still plenty of things to do and see. Wichita is the largest city in Kansas, so we kind of have that urban, suburban feel, and campus is just 5 minutes west of downtown Wichita. I like living in Wichita. I've lived here my whole life, and I will say it is very cost effective to live here. So if you're thinking about coming to school here or living off campus at any point, the cost of living is fantastic. A few more things about Wichita. We are the air capital of the world. So that lends itself really well to our students who are looking to do internships and cooperative education experiences off campus. We have great relationships with the local aircraft companies like Textron, Cessna, and some Spirit and some other companies. I also love to give like a fun fact during these presentations because you're hearing from a lot of schools and I want you to remember me and Newman University because we're the air capital of the world. Harrison Ford, who is a huge aircraft enthusiast and pilot himself, can often be found wandering the streets of downtown Wichita, usually 2 to 3 times a year because he comes here to have all of his aircraft serviced. So you can usually find him rummaging in a local shop, renting a car at the local rental car company, or having lunch at the Doodah Diner downtown. A little bit more about us. We're a smaller school. We only have about 1,200 undergraduate students, and we were founded in 1933 by a group of Catholic sisters called the Adorers of the Blood of Christ. We are also named after that little guy down there, St. John Henry Newman. We've been having a lot of fun with his likeness because he was very recently, in October of 2019, canonized as saint with the Catholic Church. But I love that we are named after him. One, because even though we're a Roman Catholic school, only about 40% of our students self-identify as Catholic. So we still have a pretty diverse campus as far as religious backgrounds go. Makes for some really interesting classes. And we're named after him because he had some really cool ideas about what it meant to get a Catholic college education. So we very much try to make sure when you're taking your gen ed that you have a very interdisciplinary experience. You go out into the world with your degree, but you also know things about a lot of different parts of the world. And he was very well known for being a convert to the Catholic faith a little bit later in his life. And in his lifetime, people came to him, both non-Catholic and Catholic alike, for spiritual guidance and support. So I love that we're named after him, and we've been having a lot of fun with his likeness on stickers and t-shirts because he's now a saint. We are a Catholic school. You can see our chapel here. In addition to being founded by the sisters and named after St. Newman, we also have a fantastic relationship with the Catholic Diocese of Wichita, in that all of the gentlemen studying to be seminarians, studying to be priests for our diocese, actually do their first 4-year degree at Newman University before they're assigned to a formal seminary education by the bishop in different parts of the US. We are blessed in the diocese to have quite a few seminarians studying to be priests. And so you might see some of these guys in your classes if you ever come to Newman University. These are all of the different programs that we offer here on campus. We're probably most well known for the sciences and preparing students for these different programs that you see on the screen. The only one here that's not science-based is pre-law, but you could be a biology major and go to law school. We send a lot of people to med school, and behind KU and K-State, we send the most pre-med graduates to med school out of the state of Kansas each year. We also are very well known for our School of Business that's got several different offerings, including the new sexy major of data analytics that everybody's looking to hire for. But we were originally founded as a school of education, educate teachers in the area of Wichita. So we do have secondary, elementary, and early childhood education. In addition to being really well known for the sciences, we also have things like nursing, respiratory care, sonography, rad tech, and OTA, which are some cohort programs. Nursing and sonography are 4-year bachelor's degrees, whereas respiratory care, rad tech, and OTA are 2-year associate's degrees. I did want to touch on athletics. We are a small school, but we are NCAA Division II, and we compete in the MIAA conference. We have plenty of varsity teams for you to participate in. Unfortunately, we are not a football school, which we get asked about a lot. I came to Newman for the awesome bowling program, but you can get scholarships for pretty much everything on the men's and women's list that you see here. And we are the only private Division II college in Kansas. Some of our more unique programs include bowling, but we also have a very new triathlon program on campus. Newman University has a free application. We are test optional. So students need only a 2.25 GPA or a 21 on the ACT to be admitted. We typically use your weighted GPA, and we also score test scores. And then you get a scholarship based on whichever data point awards you the highest amount of money. For first-time students, scholarshiip range between $10,000 to $16,000 per year. And this is per year for 4 years, as long as you maintain at least a 2.0 GPA. New this year, we also have the Catholic Promise and the Catholic Leaders of Tomorrow. Catholic Promise is a minimum guaranteed amount to students graduating from a Catholic high school. And Catholic Leaders is a minimum amount guaranteed to Catholic students who maybe didn't have the opportunity to go to a Catholic high school, such as those in rural areas. We also have some other larger scholarships. But consider applying and getting some more information. We'd love to hear from you.
Georgia, thanks so much. We're on to our next institution, Xavier University.
Thanks, Dave. My name is Julie Nelson. I'm the Regional Recruitment Director at Xavier University, which is a fancy way to say that while my university is in Cincinnati, Ohio, I am based in the suburbs of Chicago, and I'm one of 10 of us who are regionally based to better service our students. If you know anything about Xavier, you know we are a Jesuit Catholic institution. And if you know anything else about Xavier, you know that our mascot is the Musketeer, and the Musketeers themselves had all for one and one for all as their rallying cry, which is really appropriate for a Jesuit institution, because if you know, again, about Jesuit education, we are certainly a place where we challenge our students to be men and women for and with others. And so that is something that we want to really portray in the classroom, outside of the classroom. And, you know, some people boil that down and say, oh, it's service. Not necessarily. You know, I think it's really a recognition that we all have gifts and talents. We all have things to share. And in order to be fully recognized humans, we really need to share those gifts with others. But we also need to be humble and have enough grace so that when someone reaches out to us to say, hey, I can help you, we are able to accept that help. One of those ways that we do that at Xavier kind of is pictured here. This is our move crew, and every year when our freshmen move into campus, instead of having to schlep all of their belongings to their residence hall themselves, this crew is there waiting for them in front of the doors of their brand new residence hall to say, hey, we know you're excited, you're nervous, you're a little bit of everything, but we are here to carry your stuff, including your little refrigerator. So just one way that we really put that all for one spirit into action at Xavier. We're about 5,200 undergraduate students at Xavier, about 1,200 to 1,300 freshmen every year. And just a few facts about those freshmen. Most of our students do not come from the state of Ohio. And I think that's important, not to diss Ohio. It's a great place to go to school, but certainly to say that when you have an average class of about 20 students, you are learning with people from all over the country. So while you're all learning the same things, you are certainly learning through those different lenses and different perspectives of your fellow classmates. I also think it's really important to point out that almost 40% of our freshmen are the only ones that come from their high school. I know that you probably all go to high schools where you could say, oh, it seems like everybody goes to. Xavier's not one of those places. You might, you know, have a couple of friends, but generally you're going to find that when you get to Xavier, you are there because it's the best fit for you, and you're able to build that community amongst other people who have also decided that Xavier is the best fit for them. We have about 90 different programs from which you can choose to study. I would say we are probably best known for our College of Nursing. For our business programs, we have 9 undergraduate majors, including undecided business. 4 of them were just recently ranked in the top 35 nationally. Great pre-med preparation with our biomedical sciences major, but also things like musical theater and film and sports management. So a little bit of something for everybody, but regardless, like I said, your classes are going to be small so that you will get to know your professors and have those opportunities to do study abroad, to do research, to really have those experiential kinds of learning components that are going to give you not only just great information for your resume, but certainly great experience to make sure that you are in the field you should be in. So here's some of our top majors. Like I said, one of the things that makes Xavier a little bit unique is that when you come in as a freshman, again, that all for one spirit, we don't want you to do everything alone. And so when you come in, you will get what we call a success team. And that success team is made up of 4 people. You'll have an academic advisor, so you will declare a major on the application. Once you do that, and if you're a student who says, I'm not ready to do that, you would come in as exploratory. You'll have someone to help guide you through your program. So to make sure that you're getting all those classes that you need in 4 years' time. You'll have a financial aid counselor. You'll have a career coach to help point you in the direction of what comes next. And then I think most importantly, as a freshman, you have a success coach. So somebody to really say, okay, there's questions that you didn't realize you were going to have as a freshman. I am here to help you. That success coach isn't just sitting in her office or his office, twiddling their thumbs waiting for you. They're very proactive. And so they're going to play a role in your transition to Xavier, but they are also going to make sure that you are successful and building a good, strong foundation freshman year. This is probably another reason why Xavier, our amazing men's basketball program. This is our Cintas Center where we play basketball, and that is right on campus. So just a few things to keep in mind. Certainly we've had our share of good runs in the NCAA tournament, but best of all, tickets are free for our students. And I don't want to leave out any of our other sports. Our men's swimming, our women's tennis, our women's golf all won the conference last year, and we are adding women's lacrosse as a D1 sport this year. City of Cincinnati is a great place to go to school. We are located in the city, but not in the heart of downtown. We're just about 10 minutes from the downtown area. So students really have that great opportunity to have a campus feel, but then when they want to eat something delicious, they want to go to a professional sports event like the Reds or the Bengals or FC Cincinnati, or even just, go hang out down by the river. You've got some opportunities. So come and see us and know that no matter what major you choose at Xavier, within 6 months of graduation, 98% of our students are either in a full-time job that requires a college degree, are in graduate school, or are volunteering. So we're really proud of our Musketeers to go out and, as St. Xavier would say, to set the world on fire. And with that, I'm going to pass it on to my Jesuit colleague from College of the Holy Cross.
That's it. From Jesuit to Jesuit, what it's all about. Welcome, everybody. Thanks so much. I'm so glad you got a chance to be able to jump in here and learn a little bit about our colleges and universities over here. My name is Michael Plord. I represent the College of the Holy Cross, located in Worcester, Massachusetts. And we'll get a chance to be able to run down a little bit about what we are all about as part of our process. So as a part of a virtual session, let me move that out of the way. As part of the virtual session, I always like to open up first, of course, with just a photo of campus, give you a little bit of an idea of what it is that you're looking at in terms of the on-campus experience. We are located over in Worcester, Massachusetts, so about 45 minutes west of Boston, but we are in the second largest city in New England. You can actually see the city there in the top left corner here of this photo, but the campus itself, as you can see, is very much a traditional campus setting. So closed campus, a lot of green space, a lot to take advantage of, both on campus as well as, of course, in the city itself. In terms of who we are as an institution, there are really 5 factors that make us who we are, and you can see them all listed right here. In terms of size, we are a smaller school, 3,000 undergraduate students total. Undergraduate only as well. So we have no grad students, no grad programs whatsoever, making 3,000 the true population of the college. Also really, I think, putting an emphasis on the ability to be able to develop strong working relationships with your faculty members. When you come to Holy Cross, you're going to have a group of faculty members who aren't distracted. They won't have that additional cohort of students that they're teaching additional classes with or working with on dissertations or something of that nature. So they really get the opportunity to not only be that resource academically, but of course to be that advisor, to be that mentor, to be that friend in so many different cases to help you figure out what are you doing with the rest of your life. It's no big question or anything. You'll do great, I'm sure. But again, it's wonderful to be able to have that guidance from that undergrad only focus. We are a liberal arts institution, and what that means for you right now, going through your college search process, you don't need to answer the question of what are you doing with the rest of your life right now. Actually, all of our freshmen start out as undecided. So first semester freshman year, everybody on paper is an undecided student. You get a chance, of course, to be able to take classes towards intended areas of study and ultimately solidify an interest, but you're given until the end of your sophomore year before you need to declare. So 2 trial years to play around with the schedule and, obviously focus in on maybe that one major, but more often than not, multiple major or multiple areas of study, as it is very much inherent in the liberal arts to be able to study across the curriculum and study across various disciplines. So we have the majority of our students doing double majors, and actually close to 85%, excuse me, of our students doing either a double major or a major minor combination. So it's very popular, again, to make those combined studies. We are also a Jesuit Catholic institution, and so as a Jesuit school, we very much believe in the idea of being active and engaged members of the community who better the community through their actions. And so our students live out that philosophy. So first off, by living on campus, we're overwhelmingly residential. About 90% of our students live on campus for all 4 years, but more importantly, getting involved on campus. So there's a whole host of activities, of course, to be a part of, ranging from athletics to performing arts to community service to multicultural groups, faith-based opportunities. Of course, we offer masses services within and without the Catholic framework, and there is no obligation to attend any type of mass or service, but certainly there are students who are engaged in the faith-based activities. As you can see here, again, we are located in Worcester, Massachusetts. I do want to emphasize that pronunciation compared to the spelling. It is Worcester, Massachusetts. We do drop a few letters there in the middle to make sure that we get that pronunciation, but in Massachusetts, we also drop the R at the end. Worcester, Massachusetts. If you're going to make yourself a native of the region, you got to make sure you get it right. You can see a few more photos here of campus. This is a shot from Fenwick Porch overlooking our Kimball Dining Hall. Another shot, again, showing that proximity of the city of Worcester, a great college town right there at our doorstep for students to be able to leverage for social opportunities, professional development experiences, community service, and volunteer work as well. From an academic perspective, again, smaller schools, so smaller classroom environments are just going to be inherent in this setting, I should say. Average class size of 18 students and 10-to-1 student to faculty ratio with 60+ academic programs ranging from the humanities to the natural sciences to the social sciences to pre-professional advising programs. And another shot here I love to show really kind of highlights those relationships students can develop with their faculty members during their time at Holy Cross. But ultimately, all of this academic preparation, of course, ultimately leads to hopefully success beyond Holy Cross. This is our numbers for class of 2020, a 94% overall career placement rate with a nice little breakdown here of where they have gone. If you're ever interested in digging a little bit further, you can check out our website. We do have this full report, not only, of course, with this overall, just where have they gone in general, but also broken down by majors and industries and a variety of other opportunities for you to be able to take a look at as part of the process. So if you're ever interested in taking a look at a few different pieces of data, you can certainly head over to that outcomes report section of our website. Just a quick bit about the admission process with Holy Cross. If it sounds like a place you might like to apply to, we have 2 different ways to apply: early decision, regular decision, and you can see the deadline dates right on over here. Early decision, of course, being your binding agreement, regular decision being your non-binding agreement. We accept both the Common App and the Coalition App, and we have no preference between either one of them. In terms of the application requirements, obviously we need an application, high school transcripts, as well as 2 letters of recommendation minimum. You can submit as many rec letters as you want in our process, but typically 2 to 4 is a good range to keep in mind. 2 to 5 is an okay number to get to, but you don't want to be that one student that we see every single year that submits 15 to 20 recs. Happens without fail. You don't need to be that student is the moral of the story, but certainly feel free to add additional recs from anybody else who knows you well outside of college guidance counselors as well as teachers. You can see down here, we are a test optional institution. SATs, ACTs, entirely your choice as to whether or not you would like to submit them. We have been test optional going on 15 years now at this point, so it's been a very long-standing policy. And quite honestly, the pandemic was just business as usual for us when it came to the testing shift, I should say. If anything, it actually quite highlighted the fact that testing is really not all that important in our process in any way. So you can feel free to take advantage of testing if you'd like, test optional, excuse me, with really no stress or no worries about which way you decide to go. Interviews are also strongly encouraged in our process. If you're interested, especially if you're a current senior right now, and checking out Holy Cross or applying to Holy Cross, we do highly encourage, highly recommend, and highly prioritize interviews as part of our admission process. So feel free to look into those. From a financial aid standpoint, we are relatively straightforward. We meet 100% of demonstrated need for all of our families. We have need-based and merit-based scholarships available for students to take advantage of. So feel free to take a look through some of our resources there. But if you have any additional questions, you can feel free to reach out to me at any point. Thank you all so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. We're on to our next institution, University of Navarra.
Hi there. I'm just loading my presentation. I hope you can see it. My name is Martha Martinez, and I am the Texas delegate for the University of Navarra, which is located in Pamplona, Spain. So we are located in Europe. You did hear clearly. We also have a delegate in California, one in New Jersey, one in Florida, and one in Puerto Rico. Aside from that, we also have delegates all over the world. So the University of Navarra was actually founded by Saint Jose Maria Escriva, who on this day, 19 years ago, was actually canonized. So the university is relatively young, especially compared to a lot of European universities. And in our short lifespan, we've done extraordinarily well. So as you can see from this map of Spain, our main campus is located in Pamplona. It's a small city, about 200,000. And the main campus has about 11,000 undergraduate students. San Sebastian is also part of our campus, and that's about an hour away, right on the coast. And that's where our School of Engineering is located. And that's about 1,000 students. And as you can see from the map, we're pretty close to Madrid and Barcelona, a few hours drive from both locations. So this is the city of Pamplona. It sits in the foothills of the Pyrenees Mountains. So we're a couple hours away from France. It has a lot of French influence, and it's the Navarra region of Spain. The city itself is very safe, very secure, very clean, very high standard of living. You can rest assured that even though you're going far, you're in a very wonderful place. It's very much of a college town, very historic. So as you can see here, there's the Citadel. These ruins are 1,000 years old. So there's a lot of history. That kind of goes part and parcel with living in Europe, right? You get to see all of Western civilization, where it really blossomed and bloomed, and to experience all the cultural parts of Europe. Our campus is very much like an American campus in the sense that it's very close knit, it's closed, it's got a lot of greenery, a lot of places to sit and read and study and relax. And here you can see some of our main buildings. We also have University Hospital, which is very well recognized. This is San Sebastian, this is the School of Engineering, as I mentioned before, and that's about an hour away, so we're pretty close. As far as undergraduate studies, these are the main schools. We do offer 85 different majors. Most of our majors are going to be 4 years, with the exception of medicine. So we do not require pre-med. So anyone who's actually interested in a medical degree can apply as a senior in high school, and you do the program in 6 years. And after the 6 years, you can come back to the States and do the USMLE and validate your medical degree. We also offer double degrees that are 6 years, and then architecture is 5, pharmacy is 5. So most of our degrees are going to be 4, except for the doubles. I won't get into all the degrees that we offer, but just know that we do have some that I'm listing here that are more the bilingual degrees. So when it's bilingual, it means that at least 50% will be in English. It could be more. There are some degrees that will actually start the full year in English and then transition to Spanish. So for all of our degrees, we ask that you test at a level of Spanish, so it has to be strong. Now, if you don't test it at that level of Spanish, we can offer you another option, but just know that you do have to test a level of Spanish in order to qualify for an official degree. So if you don't have the Spanish level that's needed, we offer you the International Foundation Program. So this serves as a gap year, an academic gap year for students that have finished high school before they enter university studies. They can come for either a semester or the whole year. And we test your level of Spanish. You can be a beginner or you can be advanced. And so based on that level, we recommend a series of courses in Spanish. But in addition to that, you can take freshman and sophomore year classes, mixed in with everyone else. And that way, if a student is a bit undecided, they can test and taste a little bit of each. Because what we do require is that you apply to a specific degree. So unlike a lot of American universities where you can be undecided for the first couple of years, here you do actually apply to a specific degree. So what Navarra is probably most known for is the personal attention. We take this very seriously. From the moment you contact us, we put you in touch with your delegate, where you're zoned to, and that person is going to walk you through the process, but not just the process of applying. We want to walk through the process of discerning what you actually want to study. And so that's where the orientation test comes in. We can offer you an orientation test, which will basically measure not only your interests, but also your skills. And so we try to see where do those things really coincide. And then we try to show you the degrees that would probably be a good fit for you. So they're there to help you. And on campus, we have something, a mentoring program that's actually rolling out right now called Tu and Co. And so again, this is for our professors on campus. They take their advising very seriously. They will administer a series of exams, a self-evaluation and peer evaluation and so forth, in order for you to develop not just academically, but the whole person, because we are very interested in that. I should also mention that we are a Catholic university. And so we communicate our faith, not so much through religious courses, but through anthropology and through our ethics courses. So any degree that you study with us, you will be taking Christian anthropology and ethics. And that will really show you the why behind, or the how behind the why. We also have a career services option. One of the questions we ask a lot is, okay, what if I study in Spain for 4 years? What then? What would I do next if I want to come back? So the career services office is there to help you get internships, get yourself placed, get you in connection with our network of alumni. And we ask you to avail yourself of that from the very moment you step on campus so that you can be well positioned. And as you can see here, 94% have no problem getting employed right away. As far as international rankings, we are consistently the #1 private university in Spain, always top 5. As far as employability in the whole world, we're ranked 45 because we are very hands-on. So regardless of the major, you're going to hit the ground running by your 2nd, 3rd year there. And so that makes employers very pleased to hire Navarra students because they realize they've been very well formed. It's not just theory, it's a lot of practical. And then we're also very sustainable. We take very seriously the ecology and the fact that we should be green. We are surprisingly very international. We are almost 30% international students. I'm gonna have to wrap it up here. So I'm gonna leave it here with the portal. So if anyone is interested in applying, this is the website you wanna go to. It's a simple application. You do not require SAT or ACT scores. And please get in touch with us if you are interested in more information.
Martha, thank you so much. We're on to our next institution, Misericordia University. Think you're on mute.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jonna McGovern. I'm the representative tonight from Misericordia University. You can see here on my screen our iconic Misericordia Arch, which is really the gateway to our campus, which is, really gaining traction as one of the best hidden gem universities in the country. So just to tell you a little bit about us, oftentimes when I'm hearing from families who haven't quite heard of Misericordia before, their first question is, why is it called Misericordia? And for any of the students in the audience who have taken Latin before, you may recognize that Misericordia is the Latin word for mercy. Mercy is really at the heart of our history as a university. We were founded by the Sisters of Mercy back in 1924. And that was as the first 4-year institution in Northeast Pennsylvania. So you can see the little arch on the map is right where our campus is located. We are about 20 minutes from Scranton and Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, about 2 hours from Philadelphia and 2 hours as well from New York City. So really situated in a nice suburban location, but with a lot of opportunity to kind of explore, not too far from campus, but also it's not quite a distraction, I usually like to think. So you can learn a little bit more about us just by understanding our mercy tradition. Really, it comes through what our charisms are, which are mercy, service, justice, and hospitality. And those are really the values that our students, our faculty, our staff, our entire campus community live by. So it's really what's at the heart of everything we do here. Now a little bit more about Misericordia. When we were founded by the Sisters of Mercy, really they came over to Pennsylvania as their first state from Ireland, first to Pittsburgh, and then to our home in Luzerne County. They found that there were a lot of men who had been working in the coal mines, and when things happened poorly for them, the women had to take charge. And so they founded Misericordia as a 4-year institution for women, in which that is why we started with education and nursing as our first majors. And so you can see we've expanded quite a bit since then, but really what we learned from, our origins as an education and nursing school were that being hands-on is really the most important part. And so while we have a very large College of Health Sciences and Education, which is really what we're known for, all of those are direct entry programs where students are admitted into the terminal degree of the field out of high school. So some of those programs like nursing, medical imaging, diagnostic medical sonography last 4 years. For things like speech language pathology, it's a 5 years master's program. Physical therapy is a 6.5-year doctorate program. Occupational therapy, 5-year master's or 6 years into summer to receive your doctorate. So really they are hands-on and they provide students with the really the skills they need to be excellent additions to the workforce. But that hands-on nature is translated to both our College of Business and our College of Arts and Science. And I think the programs in those colleges really have kind of gained a lot of respect for their interdisciplinary nature and for the experiences that our students have. And really that all comes down to the fact that our students are really learning beyond the classroom. And so these are just a few of the extra support we provide outside of the classroom to help students gain the experiences they need to learn more about themselves, to learn more about their chosen career paths, and really to learn more about how they can go out into the world and really bring our charisms from campus into the rest of kind of their lives. So some of those projects include grant-funded undergraduate research fellowships, an alternative learners program, which helps students that, have different learning disabilities, a study abroad and study away program that can have students, as far away as, Spain or a little bit closer to home in DC. We have an honors program. We have a guaranteed placement program that guarantees our students, just like it says, a job at the time of graduation. And then, of course, even closer to home, service learning courses that students partner with nonprofit organizations for classroom projects. So a lot going on that is just beyond lectures and tests. Even beyond just the things that are tied to academics, there's a lot going on campus. And really, as Cougars, we like to rise and roar here at Misericordia. A lot of that comes through our 26 NCAA Division III teams. We are Division III, which does mean that student comes ahead of athlete, but that doesn't mean we're not competitive on the field. Our baseball team has won 10 straight MAC championships. Our women's soccer team is currently ranked 6th in the nation. So we do really we're proud of our athletes on the field, both for what they're doing there and in the classroom. It comes with service opportunities and other organizations that our students get involved in. And really, that's what we see the most out of our applicants, is that they have been super involved. And so that's probably one of the most important pieces of your application for us, is us just to see what you've been up to in high school, because it's more than just what you're doing in the classroom. It's, what you're balancing in total and who you're choosing to become. So we do really like to see involvement out of our students. And that's really what we see. Really, we look a lot at that list on your application. The other thing we do need to see is your official transcript from your high school. They have to be submitted by your guidance counselor. There are different requirements for different programs because we do review each student by their major, although we do have an undergraduate undeclared program that students can apply to and go into our choice program, which has added support to help students pick a major. We are both test optional and test blind when it comes to the SATs and ACTs. So even if students do choose to send them to us, I will never see them as the admissions counselors, and our scholarship committee will also never see them. I'm not considering them this year.
Thank you. We're at time here. We're going to move on to our next presenter from Caldwell University.
Okay, hello everybody. My name is Amber and I'm a senior admissions counselor at Caldwell University. So a little bit about Caldwell. Caldwell's a private institution and we are Catholic. We're located in Caldwell, New Jersey, which is in North Jersey. So we're about 30 minutes from New York, which is a great area to be in because the area in Caldwell is beautiful and it's a suburban area, but we're not far from the city, which is where those jobs and those internship opportunities are going to be. It's a small campus with about 2,200 students total. That includes undergrad and graduate students, and our class size is about 10 to 12 students on average, which means that you are able to stand out. We all know you by name and by face, and that's how you're able to make those connections with your faculty members. Caldwell has also been the affordable choice for a lot of students. Here are most of our majors that we have to offer, and I highlighted the most popular for you. Nursing is our top major and most competitive because it has a 100% success rate. So anybody that has entered that program, they've left with a job so far. Psychology is our biggest program with the most amount of students. Education is a really big one. Criminal justice is a growing one. Biology is really important because we have a lot of majors in the health field, and business because it's so broad. So there are a bunch of different majors that fall under that program. 98% of our students that recently graduated, they're either employed, they're in grad school, they're doing some type of service project. And I know that's a really big number, but it makes it a lot easier for you to network and get these opportunities because we're such a small school. So with that being said, here are some of our recent internship placements, and I'm sure everyone can name almost every single company on here. And I show you this to let you know that yes, Caldwell is a small school, but we still have connections to some really popular businesses. As far as support on campus, we do have access to tutoring. We have walk-in hours, or you can make appointments in our Academic Success Center, which you see in the picture to the left. You'll have an academic advisor that'll walk you through all 4 years, making sure you have the right classes and that you graduate on time. There are both short-term and long-term study abroad opportunities. We have the Office of Accessibility for any type of learning accommodations that you might need. And we have the Career Planning and Development Center. And that's how you're going to land those jobs and internships. We work with you on building your resume, your interviewing skills, and we have job fairs on campus. Here's our tuition for both commuter and resident. And this is a sticker price that has no financial aid, grant, or scholarship applied to it. And we have plenty of scholarship opportunities. So here are our merit-based scholarships. We also have a Catholic high school scholarship. We have a recognition award that's for any type of community service or volunteer experience. And we have a talent scholarship. So if you have any talent in art, you can send us 10 slides of your best work. And if you have any talent in music, you can audition in front of the head of the music department. As far as athletics, we are very competitive when it comes to sports, and we are D2. So here is a list of our sports that we offer for both men and women. We also have sprint football and rugby, which are club sports, but still competitive. For those looking to live on campus, we do have 3 different residence halls. We have a traditional hall, we have an upperclassman dorm, which is apartment style, and a second traditional hall, which has quiet hours. And there's always something for you to do on campus. Parking is free, freshmen can have cars on campus, laundry is free, and students can eat as many times a day as they'd like with their meal plan. Plenty of ways for you to get involved, and one of the best ways is going to be to join a club or organization. And I have a picture here of me and 4 of my students because I started a fashion organization on campus, which has been very successful. And that goes to show that you can make change on your campus, especially being at a smaller school. As far as the admissions process, we are rolling admissions, so you can apply online or through Common App. Here you'll see the average GPA, SAT, and ACT. We also require your essay and 2 letters of recommendation. Definitely follow us on social media to keep yourself up to date with our different events and secret scholarship opportunities. And some of the next steps would be to definitely visit our campus if you can, and you submit your electronic application with all the documents that I just went over. And most importantly, let's keep in contact. Here is our email address and our number, and I look forward to hopefully hearing from all of you. Thank you.
Amber, thanks so much. In the time we have left, we're going to ask our panelists to weigh in on the following topics. So we'll have our presenters again just answer these questions in the order in which they presented, starting with Newman University. So the first question we have for the group is, what advice would you give someone going through the college search process?
My advice would be to just visit and apply to some different options. That way you know what's a good fit at the end of the day. I find a lot of students don't realize that a smaller school might be a good fit for them until they've taken the chance to come in person and see campus. So keep your options open. and check it out. If you're worried about cost, which is a big thing with private schools, just make sure you go through the process, do your due diligence in applying for financial aid and scholarships, and you might be surprised what could be a reality for you. So go through all of those steps and really take some time intentionally to find a good fit for you.
My advice would be, and I know the six of us gave you lots of good facts and figures and, you know, fun information about our schools, but my advice to you would be, before you try and collect all of that information, to take a step back and really do a little bit of a self-assessment and think about what you value and what matters to you as you go to school even now. You know, what kinds of classes do you like best? How do you learn best? Are you someone that can certainly, you know, take in some information over the internet, or are you somebody that needs to be a little bit more hands-on? You know, think about things too, like what you like to do outside of class. Amber talked about, you know, she started this fashion organization. You know, if that's something that's important to you, ask about it when you go to that campus. You know, if you are not somebody who's like, oh my gosh, I need a gigantic, you know, football Saturday. Well, you know, all these schools that send you the information about football Saturday, you're like, well, that's not really me. And I think that's what's important, is you're trying to make this match, not just with who you are now, but with who you want to be. And in order to know that, you do have to do a little bit of self-reflection.
I think for me, it's to have more than one number one school. Be okay, you know, being admitted to a few schools and seeing yourself at a few of those schools. One of the best positions that you can be in is to have a number of different options available to you that you can really see yourself at. You know, there's a lot of great options of schools that are out there, and certainly you can find, you know, a good fit, I think, like I said, in more than one campus and in more than one institution. And if it does get to that point where, again, you have a number of different schools that you're able to successfully say, yeah, I can see myself there, I can choose any of these schools, then I think you can be in a really great position when it comes time to make that choice of where you ultimately spend the next 4 years of your life.
That's all very good advice, and I agree with everything that you guys have said. I guess to that, I would add that when I talk to a lot of seniors that are applying, everyone seems very stressed out and very overwhelmed. So I think my first piece of advice is take it easy. You know, your life, this isn't gonna, you're not gonna die at the end of this process. Try to enjoy it, try to change your perspective and your perception of it being stressful and overwhelming. And yes, be open-minded, explore different options, talk to a lot of people that have gone to a lot of different places. Look not just for the pedigree of the university, but really look beyond that and see what kind of degrees they offer and whether they're really good fits for you and not just what's trending and not just what your best friends are going to study. So really take a deep breath, try to enjoy it, try to see it as an adventure and something that you're bound to discover new things.
So my piece of advice, and I think it's something that can help it a little bit more stress, be a little bit less stressful, communicate. Like, we're all admissions counselors, and every college in the country and abroad has admissions counselors. We're here to talk to you. Like, I hang out in my office and wait for you to either email me or call me or text me. So do so and ask me what questions you have, or don't be afraid to say, I don't have any questions, but I feel like I should. It's a normal place to be. Just talk to us.
My piece of advice would be to use yourself as self-inspiration. So I like to tell my students to just think about what you're doing this process for, write it on a piece of paper and put it up on your wall. If you're staying in your dorm room, hang it up so you can see it every day. And you can use that to get yourself through all 4 years. If you see it every day, you're going to be really excited to get to the end of that road. And just like everyone else said, do your research and don't forget to ask questions. So it's okay.
Thank you. In the time we have left, we'll do one more question. We'll skip to the third question. What is one myth you'd like to debunk about the college admissions process?
I mean, we're all private schools, so I think affordability is one of the big myths that we're all trying to debunk on a daily basis. I feel like I talked about it to all of my visitors today. But if you're genuinely looking at a private school and you feel like it could be a good fit for you, go through the process. See what it might cost you to go to that school. A lot of students I've talked with really psych themselves out by going to schools' websites and looking at the sticker price. But there's definitely a hard difference between sticker price and the net cost, what people actually pay to go to school. And it's not anywhere near the sticker price. So yes, go on, be informed, look at what the total cost might be so that when you get your scholarship package and your financial aid, you're aware of what that is. But also know and ask those questions and know that net cost is different and that a private school could be in the cards for you and definitely very affordable.
My myth that I'd like to debunk is that when you get emails from colleges, they are not sent by robots. They are sent by real people. So at this point in the college search, you may be getting emails from schools you've never heard of. If you're not interested in that school, simply scroll to the bottom of the email and hit unsubscribe. Do not hit reply and use your favorite 4-letter word as your response. Trust me, I've seen it. So keep in mind, we're people too. We want to hear nice words from you.
My favorite right now at this point is that testing matters. Testing doesn't matter. There's no school out there, 0 schools that are going to have testing as their number one factor in an admission process. Every single school, when it comes to the idea of academic fit, is going to pay much more attention to the work that you do in the classroom on a day in and day out basis. Those transcripts are a much greater representation of you, the student, the person that you could be on the college level compared to a 3-hour, 4-hour exam on a Saturday morning. So I think as part of this process, if you're going to focus in on anything from an academic perspective, focus in again on that day-to-day work that you're working on from the high school perspective.
Great. And I'll just add to what Georgia said about the affordability. And most people think that studying internationally is going to be very expensive. Our tuition is the same for anyone. And it's about $13,000 US for most of our degrees. So just keep that in mind, that studying in Europe does not have to be very expensive.
Yeah, I think I want to echo what Georgia and Martha have said. Like, financial aid runs different at every school. So just because your older brother or older sister didn't get financial aid from the college they went to doesn't mean your parents shouldn't do the FAFSA for you. Like, each school handles things different. Each school has different institutional scholarships. So just, again, communicate with your admissions counselor, let them know what's affordable for you, and they'll work with you on what they can do for you at their university.
So I would say 2 things. One, about the admissions process. I know students are typically really concerned with their GPA and their test scores, but really everything matters, and we can't 100% get to know you through numbers. So I want you guys to know that your essay is going to be really important, and those letters of recommendations are going to be very important for you as well, especially if you lack in certain areas. If your GPA might be a little lower, your test scores might not be as strong, your essay and rec letters, they can really vouch for you. And as far as private schools, sometimes private schools are smaller than public schools, and students tend to stray away from that, but it's okay. You're able to stand out at smaller schools, and that's definitely the point, because you want to get noticed by faculty members, and that's how you're able to get opportunities after you graduate.
Amber, thanks so much for finishing us off here. We want to thank everyone for joining our session today. It's been a great one. We've got a quick 5-question survey that we'd ask you to fill out on the StriveScan website. Also, again, a reminder, we have additional sessions for other institutions, so go ahead and look there. And finally, again, a reminder, strivescan.com/NCCAA for the recorded session. Once again, thanks to our presenters and attendees. Hope everyone has a good night. Bye-bye now.
Thank you.